Hello guys, welcome back in Goku Manhwa channel. Let's continue. We continue from the previous episode as Yoan said he was truly grateful to see his grandfather alive. Chan Niji returned a gentle smile, letting out a soft laugh. It felt wonderful to finally be acknowledged as a grandfather by his grandchild. Yoan gazed at him warmly, his chest tightening with unspoken feelings. This was not the same man as the former cult leader. He once believed such emotions could never exist without becoming apparent. Haibong's eyes shimmered as he watched the long-awaited reunion unfold. Suddenly, Chan Niji's eyes widened, struck by a memory that resurfaced with urgency. He attempted to rise quickly and turned to the Grand Guardian, demanding to know the location. The Grand Guardian bowed with calm respect, explaining that they were inside the Northern Sea Ice Palace. Chan Niji surveyed the surroundings, his face clouded with tension. The Northern Sea Ice Palace. In the next instant, he rose again, clutching Yoan's robe. His voice shook. No, they must be stopped before it was too late. Yoan tried to calm him, yet Chan Niji's tone rang with desperation. The dragon turtle's core could never be allowed to fall into enemy hands. His body trembled as he pleaded that time was short. If all 5 spirit cores were gathered, calamity would strike. Yoan carefully guided his grandfather to sit again, reassuring him that there was no need to fear. The core had not been taken. Chan Niji stiffened in shock. Impossible. Yoan then revealed his palm, where a glowing orb of lightning pulsed with power. It was the dragon turtle's core, retrieved by his hand. Chan Niji's eyes grew wider, disbelief flooding his face. Yoan truly possessed it. The young man crushed the luminous sphere and spoke firmly to his grandfather. His health was fragile, but he needed answers. How had he been seized by the Six-Blade Martial School and placed under their control? Chan Niji lowered his gaze, his body shivering with regret. At that moment he believed it would shield their cult and preserve the balance of the martial world. His words faltered, but he confessed that through his mistake, Grandmaster Jiang and the others became unwilling sacrifices. The Grand Guardian listening nearby stiffened with disbelief. Grandmaster Gelong, the former Shaolin abbot who had vanished 18 years ago, suddenly resurfaced in his mind. Another thought followed quickly. Mong Yang of the Morong clan once claimed he was among those mysterious masked figures. Chan Niji turned his gaze firmly toward Yun. It was too soon to take comfort merely because the dragon turtle's core had been secured, he declared gravely. Beyond the dragon turtle, there still remained 4 mighty spirit beasts, the Amua, the Flame Jilin, the Great Rock, and the White Wind Tiger. Altogether, there were 5. His tone darkened as he said the Six-Blade Martial School would inevitably hunt down the other cores. Yo responded with a calm interruption. He already suspected as much. Raising his palm, he summoned a sphere of blazing fire Kai, proof that the Flame Jilin's core was already in his grasp. He had seized it during the chaos at the Imperial Tomb. Chan Niji gasped, eyes wide at his grandson's display. Yoan then thought of the infiltrators who had once breached the cult. Stroking his chin, he remembered they planted a spy within the Demon Blade Hall. Perhaps their true aim had always been the core. Beads of sweat slid down Chan Niji's temple as he muttered in confusion about this Demon Blade Hall. Yoan silently unsheathed the heavenly demon sword and placed it before his grandfather's eyes. Chan Niji froze, unable to comprehend its aura. Yoan spoke firmly, explaining that this was the authentic heavenly demonic sword infused with the Amuja's essence. Chan Niji's breath faltered and he exclaimed in awe, unable to hold back. The heavenly demonic sword. Legends claimed only the rightful successor of the heavenly demon could wield it, and his grandson now possessed it. Yoan calmly withdrew the blade once more. Chan Niji, still reeling, asked if that meant he had secured not only the dragon turtle and Flame Jilin cores but also the Amujas. Yoan nodded without hesitation. That was the truth. Chan Niji stumbled, nearly collapsing before the Grand Guardian supported him. His lips quivered with disbelief. How could such a thing happen? Yoan rubbed the back of his neck, quietly debating whether to mention the Great Rock. Chan Niji steadied himself and inhaled slowly, his expression easing. At last, he decided it was time to offer a proper greeting. Suddenly, he bent to one knee. Hyobong and the Grand Guardian gasped in shock at the gesture. Chan Niji smiled faintly, his tone filled with solemnity. He declared himself the 22nd leader of the great heavenly demonic cult, bowing in respect to the second heavenly demon. Yoan hurriedly inclined his head, embarrassed by such reverence. Please rise, grandfather. You're making me uncomfortable. Chija chuckled softly. How could anyone feel awkward now? Tears of relief brimmed in his eyes. The most joyous moment of this old man's life had finally come. Yo gently eased his grandfather back onto the bed, his mind heavy with thought. Grandfather had been a loyal pillar of the sect, one who bore all burdens even at the price of his flesh. He added quietly that if leaders among the 6 great factions had shown such devotion, their order might never have splintered into civil strife. Chan Niji fixed his gaze on Yoan and stated with certainty that he had secured the true heavenly demonic sword and intercepted the cause before the 6-blade martial school could seize them. He paused, the weight of his words hanging in the air. Perhaps all of these events were guided by the heavenly demon ancestor. Yo lowered his eyes, lost in recollection. The ancestor's guidance. He remembered when he first claimed the heavenly demonic sword. A whisper from the past had urged patience while he absorbed its power. Chan Niji rubbed his chin, speaking softly but firmly that such notions might be the fantasies of a humble sect elder. Yet he added with conviction that his instincts insisted the hour of revelation had arrived. He leaned closer and continued that if one counted the years it would trace back around 25 years. His tone sank into memory as he described how the demonic cult he once led pressed westward into the strongholds of the malevolent schools. Chan Niji's features hardened as he remembered that the alliance of wicked factions had been commanded by Hang Yang, the Destruction Emperor, who rose among the 5 great masters after vanquishing Makhayan, the old generation's Death King. His voice sharpened as he recalled their cult's overwhelming might driving the enemy all the way to Yunnan province. Yo and the others listened with rapt attention. Chan Niji went on, solemn and clear, that their momentum had seemed unstoppable but provoked the envy of the 6 great factions, who began to grumble at their westward campaign. The Grand Guardian's eyes narrowed in recollection. He agreed, remembering the confusion of those days when many questioned why they focused on subduing the West. Chan Niji pointed out that in truth their sect had the strength to either Central Plains by turning north against the righteous Martial Alliance. He closed his eyes, speaking low and steady that at that time he had been forced into a different path. He admitted to making a pact with a rival. He first encountered him some 50 years prior. Memories gathered at the edge of his voice as he recalled his youthful fervor and the ambition shared by past cult leaders to push north into the heart of the Central Plains martial world. The one who stopped him then was the abbot of Shaolin, Grandmaster Galong, whom he remembered as a Buddhist saint, a revered presence in the Central Plains not for mere fame but for hidden might. When Chan Niji battled him for nearly half a day, he discovered how many extraordinary figures lurked unseen in the martial world. His face tightened as he recounted suffering grave internal injury and tasting his first true defeat. Burning with vengeance, he struck a bargain to avoid endless bloodshed, meet and duel every 5 years so that when his forces gathered countless would not perish. Instead they would resolve the score 1-on-1 at a set place. A note of regret slipped into his words. That marked the start of our enduring conflict. For 20 years, to my shame, I never once overcame Grandmaster Galong. The memory sharpens. The monk's star flashed, cutting arcs through the sky. A storm of movement. Chija's voice brightened as he recalled the moment of triumph. During our 5th meeting, I finally prevailed. A victory long denied had at last been earned. He let the silence linger, then admitted quietly that by oath, the path north was open. Chija's tone grew heavier. Yet I could not take it. 25 years of battle had taught me respect. On the day I overcame the Grandmaster, we became as close as brothers. He breathed out slowly. I abandoned the northern advance and turned westward instead. To the Orthodox, he was exalted as a hero. But only he and I shared the truth. When politics burdened me, when troubles weighed heavily, I would seek him. That devout monk, that true Buddhist. His voice darkened. Then came the day that changed everything. As usual, I went to our appointed place. But Galong never appeared. Even 2 weeks later, there was no word. Chan Niji's brows knit. Around that time, word came from the Shadow Clan. Zen Master Jam of Shaolin's Dharma 10 had disappeared, and Galong himself had gone to Mount Byam in Anua southeast. His fists clenched slightly as he remembered. Though it was not my role to meddle in another sect's affairs, my curiosity led me astray. I travelled alone to Mount Bay, not far from our borders. His voice fell lower, almost haunted. In that forest I discovered signs of battle. Shaolin's 72 fist arts, the style of Zen Master Zhang. And beside them, he hesitated, eyes narrowing. Another style unlike anything in this world. Sword marks identical to those I once witnessed in the Demon Blade Hall during the 6th trial. His tone sharpened. The same markings left by the Blade God, the faux face by our 7th leader, the Sword Demon Gong. Yo-One's eyes narrowed. The divine sword arts of the Blade God, techniques of the 6-blade martial school. Chan Niji gave a faint, wry smile. So you even know its name. When I first passed the trial, I thought it only a legend from centuries past. I dismissed the last words of Sword Demon Gong, handed down by the Guardian. Yet seeing that technique revived, I realized this was no simple matter. His tone darkened further. After 2 days of pursuit, I found Galong in a ravine of western Zhujiang. He fought bitterly, surrounded by countless foes. I rushed in at his side. Though delayed by many, together we struck them all down. Chan Niji's gaze hardened. They carried every kind of weapon, even palm arts, but at the core their foundation was the Blade God's technique. He remembered Galong's words. That man turned to me, urging that not all should be slain. Chan Niji nodded gravely as he recounted. I could not understand, but followed his will, capturing some alive. Later, as we stood together, I asked him who these men were. His voice grew deep as he recalled Galong's reply. Benefactor Chan, they are the children of the Blade God. Even in memory, Chan Niji's eyes widened. The Blade God. I had suspected, yet to hear it spoken was still staggering. The bloodline of the greatest swordsman long vanished had survived. Chan Niji fell quiet, his voice heavy. At first, I believed Galong was ensnared while searching for the Dharma Master. But that was not the truth. Yo-One's eyes widened in alarm. If that was not the case, then what? Chan Niji's face darkened. Galong already knew of their existence. His voice sank, every word like stone. He had known for a very long time.